Welcome to the official podcast of Vienna Shadows, a secret society uncovering Vienna's hidden mysteries. Lean back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the debate. Today we're breaking down the rule system for the Vienna Shadows RPG, a system that really bets everything on a kind of radical minimalism. We're talking about a game that fits on a digital index card.
It is certainly minimal. But I think the central question we have to tackle is whether this ultra-simplified roll lower D6 mechanic actually creates real narrative tension, or if the lack of, mechanical granularity just ends up simulating incompetence.
And I'll be arguing that the system is a masterclass in efficiency. The streamlined rules, specifically the single die resolution and that tight health sanity economy, they just remove the administrative friction you see in the genre, letting players focus purely on the horror.
And I'm coming at this from the other side. I argue that the mathematical variance of a single six-sided die is just too volatile for a serious investigation game. And beyond that, the digital implementation has a structural flaw with data persistence that completely undermines the cosmic journey it claims to offer.
Okay, so let's start with what you called the simple yet effective core. The barrier to entry here is basically zero. You open the digital character sheet, and there's the template. Henry, the university professor. 4 attributes. Intellect, charisma, perception, strength. They all default to 3. The mechanic is stark. You roll a 6-sided die, you must roll lower than your attribute. No tables to look up, no think how. You see the number 3, you roll the die right there on the sheet, and you know instantly if you've survived. It's elegant.
Elegance shouldn't come at the cost of competence, though. Let's look at the probability curve for your university professor. If Henry has an intellect of 3 and the rules say you must roll lower, he only succeeds on a 1 or 2. That is a 33% success rate. And okay, let's be generous. Let's say it's equal to or lower. That's still just a coin flip. We're meant to believe this is a learned academic, but the flat math of a D6 says he fails to have a basic thought half the time. It breaks immersion for me.
I think you're treating those stats as static, but the source material is very clear that values are dynamic. The text notes that events, items, potions, they all change these values. The 3 isn't a fixed measure of competence. It's a baseline of vulnerability. The whole game loop is about scrambling to find those modifiers to, tilt the odds in your favor. It gamifies the desperation pretty effectively.
But that brings us to the granularity issue. In, say, a standard D20 system, a +1 modifier shifts your odds by 5%. It allows for subtle nudges. In this D6 system, a +1 modifier swings your probability by nearly 17%. That is a massive swing. You're just careening between impossible and guaranteed with zero nuance. It lacks the gray area where a mystery is supposed to live.
I would argue that horror is binary. You're either alive or you're dead, sane or mad. And the resource system reflects that perfectly. You have 2 meters, health and sanity, or Verstand. Health hits 0, you die. Sanity hits 0, you become wahnsinnig, insane. The system forces you to balance physical safety against your mental degradation. It's not about nuance. It's about the death spiral.
It's a spiral, sure, but does it drive narrative or does it just drive inventory management? The source suggests the only way to stop this slide is through consumables, potions, and spells, and so the gameplay shifts from investigating a mystery to hoarding resources. The character sheet is tracking shillings and artifacts, and pretty soon the game feels more like accounting than an adventure.
The digital implementation solves that accounting feel, though. I mean, the browser-based sheet handles inventory, the shillings. It even has a dedicated button to add Eldritch Artifact. It keeps the whole collection of forbidden knowledge thing thematic and accessible, and you don't have erasure smudges on a piece of paper.
Okay, but we have to address the elephant in the room with that digital implementation. The source material has a disclaimer right on the page. Changes are not saved.
Well, it's clearly designed for single-session play.
I think that's a technical limitation masquerading as a feature. If you refresh your browser, Henry resets. His inventory vanishes, his sanity goes back to full. You can't have a meaningful cosmic journey, as the sheet calls it, if the universe has no permanence. The horror becomes purely metagame, the fear of an accidental page reload destroying all your progress.
I'll admit the no-save feature is harsh, but I interpret it as enforcing a one-shot mentality. It aligns with the lethal math we just talked about. This game isn't a long campaign, it's meant to be a fleeting, high-stakes vignette. The ephemeral nature of the data mirrors the ephemeral nature of the characters' lives.
That is a very poetic justification for a lack of database storage. For a player investing 2 hours in a mystery, technical volatility is not a gameplay feature, it's a hazard.
So, to summarize, I believe Vienna Shadows succeeds because it strips away the safety net. It offers a raw, immediate experience where the rules get out of the way of the fear.
And I'd maintain that the reduction goes too far. The D6 probability curve makes competent characters look foolish, and the digital tool's inability to save data turns the whole experience into a technical gamble, not a narrative one.
We can agree, at least, that the system creates a mindset of scarcity and immediate danger.
Undeniably. Whether that danger is coming from the old ones or a browser crash, the tension is definitely real.
And on that, we'll leave it. Thanks for listening to the debate.
This concludes today's episode. Don't forget to rate and subscribe. Until next time, Vienna Shadows, signing off.